Well, hello, welcome to week two. As you can see behind me, I added a little technical savvy for you. I got a couple comments about my light blue wall and pink paintings that my kids made for me, I might add. But anyway, so I thought I'd throw in a little professional police background there for you um, to make you feel like you're on police1.com or something. So, okay, so this is going to be a short lesson. Chapter 2 was pretty short, and so we should be able to get through this hopefully in one video. That's my goal. So let's talk about the first thing. My first question for you is, are you a GPS writer? What I mean by that is, I can remember going on family vacations and going down to AAA a week or two beforehand and asking AAA to get us a TripTik is what they called it. And we would they'd plan out the route for us, and we would look at the three routes that they suggested, and we'd figure out where we were going to stop to eat and what roads we were going to get off on, and did AAA get it right, and that kind of thing. And there was a lot of pre-planning that went into that. Nowadays, I mean, I just went to Virginia this week, and I didn't pre-plan anything. About 2 minutes before I pulled out of the driveway, I turned on my GPS. I punched the home button, and it took me from Virginia to my house. And the same was true when I went to Virginia. I just sat down and did it. And because of the invention of the computer, that has changed our report writing a lot. And we have become what I call GPS writers. We write without thinking about the contents because we know that we can go back and edit, move around, or change. And what I'm saying is that's not really that great of an idea. It is always best to start with an outline and get down what you want to put out there first. And so that's what the chapter's talking about. Don't be a GPS writer. Plan out what you're going to say before you do it. And what you're first going to see is a face page. And a lot of departments have face pages. Face pages are very important. I'll tell you, in the state of Ohio and in many other states, there's a law called a public records law, which means people can gather public information about our cases. What they cannot gather is any investigative notes that we have. So what departments will do is they've created a face page that has a brief narrative of what happened, the people involved, and the basic information that they can release to the public. And then they have investigator notes or the narrative, which gives a detailed information on what's going on. So that's what a face page is. So when you're writing your face page, you want to make sure that it's very professionally written because that's going to be the first thing the public sees about your case. So the first step to writing a narrative report, the first step, is to review your notes. When I go to write a research paper, usually I'm writing a research paper based off of 15 different books. And so as I read those books, I have little index cards. On the top of the right-hand corner of the card, I write what book it's from. And as I see important things in those books, I write down on that index card what I read and what was important in that reading. And then when I go to write my research paper, I just lay out all my index cards. And I'm able to create my paper based off of those index cards. And that index card will tell me who I need to reference, who I need to do my works cited for to just show I got it from that book and that kind of thing. So the same is true for writing a report. Pull out your field notes, review your field notes, and see what was talked about. Use bullet points when you're doing this initial preparation. Your book talks a lot about, uses the analogy of a shopping list when you're writing that report and when you're preparing that report. So use those bullet points, not for your actual report, but use bullet points to prepare your thoughts. I came to work for an agency that used bullet points inside their report. Very bad idea. It became very confusing, but it was a very good start. Use the bullet points to outline exactly what happened and what you want to talk about, and then write your report. Gather your ideas together before you write, and the book talks about writing your ideas in pencil. that can be erased. Obviously, we've moved into an age in most agencies where we're using a computer. We no longer need to use a pencil and a pen and paper and things like that. But if you are an agency that doesn't use electronic reports, start with a pencil and then copy it over in a pen. And that stinks, but it needs to be done. Labels. Now, I would not recommend putting labels inside of your actual report. Now, I'll show you a fully finished report where we do label that report, and we have the suspect interview section and the victim interview section and the witness interview section. But those labels can go right into your outline. So label it dispatch. Here's what dispatch said to me. Actions taken upon arrival. Here's what I did upon arrival. Victim information and victim account. Here's what the victim said to me when I got there. Suspect information, suspect account. Here's who I found as a suspect, and here's what they said. Witness accounts. Here's what the witnesses said. Actions taken by officer. Here's what I did. I arrested the person, took them to jail or whatever. And then recommendations by the police officer. I am recommending to the prosecutor's office that this person be charged with, disorderly conduct by intox or whatever. So go ahead and mentally label those things in your report. So paragraph 1 will be dispatch. Paragraph 2 will be actions taken upon arrival. Paragraph 3 will be victim information. Put it in order. We talked in week 1 about chronological order. I cannot tell you how important chronological order is. Don't start with I got on scene and arrested Bob, and then I found out that he did. No, say, on such and such date and time, I was dispatched to this location. Upon arrival, here's what I found. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And talk about in chronological order. It'll make the reader be able to understand it. And with that, a lot of departments would not leave gaps between their paragraphs. So give yourself a one-line gap. Show that I'm starting a new paragraph. I'm starting a new thought. It's going to make it easier for the reader to understand. So in that heading, we'll call them paragraphs or headings. How long should they be? Dispatch. How long should the dispatch section be? Well, your book recommends about 2 paragraphs. I would agree with that. The exception is some things like a DUI. Your heading might be test performed, and if you do a DUI and you do the standard 3 field sobrieties, then you're going to do a 3-paragraph, section. But in general, your headings or your paragraphs should be grouped in about two paragraphs each for any particular heading. The final thing you're going to do when you get this report done, proofread. I cannot stress proofread enough. It is the most important thing you can do. Beyond proofreading, report should be done in past tense. The reason we do that in past tense is so that when you're testifying in court and they're reading your report and you say, Angela Smith lives at 127 5th Street, your defense attorney is going to say, Angela Smith doesn't live at 127 5th Street. Angela Smith lives at 312 Main Street. She lived at... So we always write in past tense because we don't know that she lives there anymore. 5 minutes after the case is done, we don't know that she lives there. Use first person. We talked about that last week. And use gender neutral language. I can remember one of the first things I had to do as a police chief was get our officers, there I go, get our officers new badges because all their badges said patrolman. Well, I hired 3 women after I got there, and so I didn't want them walking around with patrolman badges. So gender neutral language is very important to use. So I think we made it under the 10-minute limit for YouTube. So that's your first or your second week video. Make sure you do your discussion board. Make sure you understand. Please understand your discussion board. Your initial posting is due by Friday. If you don't have it in Friday by midnight, you get 0 points for your discussion board. So make sure you have it in Friday by midnight. And other than that, have a great rest of the week. Email me if you have any questions. Good luck.